This is my review of The Watchers. The Watchers is a new movie from writer-director Ishana Shyamalan. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because she is the daughter of M. Night Shyamalan. And this is her first feature-length film. She did direct, I think, 6 episodes of the show The Servant, but I never watched that show, so this is my introduction to her. And she is very young. She's only 24 years old, which is really impressive for making a movie like this. For comparison, her dad was 28 years old when he made The Sixth Sense, which I thought at the time was like record levels of young. So this movie is based on a book by A.M. Shine of the same name. So it's not original material for her, but she did pen the screenplay and I'm sure in ways made it her own. And in the story, we follow our main protagonist is Mina. She is played by Dakota Fanning, and she is a character who is clearly kind of hiding away or running from something in the country of Ireland. And she works at this pet store, and she's tasked with taking this exotic bird across country. And so on her trip across Ireland, she ends up going through sort of a unknown forest where people have been known to enter and never return. And she breaks down. Her car just stops working. She gets out to look around. The car disappears. Everything's very odd. And then she quickly is led to refuge in a bunker with 3 other people where she discovers that they have been trapped for a long time. They only are able to venture out in the daylight because at night they are observed by the Watchers. Now, naturally, at first, Mina is dubious of this whole lore that they're explaining to her, and she's determined to make her escape. However, as time goes by, she figures out that the situation is as real and as dire as her companions have described, which leads to the essential questions of who are the Watchers, what do they want, and how can we escape when no one else has. This movie has a lot of things going for it. I think it is really well directed. I think that Ishana is a chip off the old block. This felt like it could have been an M. Night movie. And by that I just mean like really good visuals, really intentional pacing, and a great atmosphere to it. It had a really creepy atmosphere like this movie should have. I think it was really well acted. It's a small cast of just a couple of people, or a few people, I should say, trapped in this bunker and trying to get out, and everybody did a good job in their part. The cons of this movie, I think the movie isn't as scary as I expected. Now, again, that's kind of like the type of movies that M. Night makes and now his daughter's making. Very atmospheric and creepy, but not scary. And I thought this movie should have been a little more of a scary movie. I didn't really connect with the characters. Like I said, I think Dakota Fanning did a really good job with her character, Mina, but I was never like, man, I'm really rooting for Mina and I really want her to make it out of this situation. Um, she was kind of unlikable in the movie, to be honest. And I know part of that was by design. And then I didn't love the ending. So I'm going to give this movie a B minus. It was worth the watch, but I don't think it's going to have any sort of cultural impact. I do think that Ishana showed a lot of real talent, and so I will be looking forward to whatever it is that she does next. Now, this is the type of movie I want to talk just slightly about things that are going to be spoilery. So if you have not seen the movie, do not watch this part. Seriously, turn off the video. Come back and watch this when you've seen the movie. So, spoiler alert issued. The big question I think everyone asks when they find out this is directed by M. Night's daughter is she all about twist endings like her dad? And this movie certainly throughout felt like the type of movie that was going to have a twist at the end. And to be honest, I saw the twist coming a mile away. I honestly wish I hadn't, because I think if it had surprised me, maybe I would have enjoyed it a little more. But it wasn't terribly long in the movie before I was like, this is what's gonna happen. And then the whole time I was like, it's gonna happen, isn't it? It's gonna happen, and then it happened. So I guess I'm not getting specific enough to be too spoilery, but I don't want to. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. This movie is just a prime example of a setup where the answers are never going to be as compelling as the questions. I compare it to the show Lost. Lost was a show that when it came on, when it started airing, I watched the first half a season or so and I was really drawn in. I was like, this show's so interesting. It's asking all these compelling questions. It's got this really great setup. And then I realized there's not going to be a potential answer that's going to satisfy, because whatever the answer is will be more disappointing than the unknown. And that's kind of like what this movie was. Anyways, if you see this movie, please let me know what you think. If you were surprised by the twist, if you liked it, because I wouldn't just want to know if other people saw it coming like I did, or if you enjoyed it more than I did.